You've probably looked into a man's eyes before and wondered if what he feels for you is love, or if it's just desire, habit, or convenience. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Men are masters at hiding their deepest emotions, even from themselves. Some of the men you've met in your life have loved you more than they'll ever admit, more than they'll ever allow themselves to say out loud. Why? Because love makes them vulnerable, and vulnerability feels like exposure. It feels like weakness. And for a man who has been conditioned to be strong, to hold it all together, weakness is the one thing he cannot allow himself to show. But if you know how to look, if you know what signs to read, you'll see it. The quiet details he thinks you'll never notice. The sacrifices he makes in silence. The way he battles with himself because his love is stronger than his pride. And that, my friend, is where the truth hides. In the little moments he doesn't realize are revealing him. The first sign that a man loves you but won't admit it is the way he protects you without making it obvious. Maybe he doesn't say, "I love you." Maybe he doesn't shower you with words or grand declarations. But notice what he does when someone disrespects you. Notice how he tenses when you're uncomfortable in a room. Notice the way he subtly positions himself between you and something that could harm you. A man in love has a primal instinct to guard, even if he doesn't have the courage to confess. It's not about controlling you. It's about ensuring you feel safe, sometimes before you even realize you're in danger. That's not an accident. That's love operating in the shadows. The second sign is the way he remembers the smallest things about you, even things you forgot you ever said. The kind of coffee you like, the story you told him once late at night, the way you laughed at something small. He stores it away, not because he's trying to impress you, but because your existence is etched into his awareness. He may never say, "I cherish you," but when he recalls those details, what he's really showing is that you live inside his mind, rent-free. That's not casual affection. That's love disguising itself as memory. Another sign that a man loves you but refuses to put it into words is how he sacrifices without announcing it. Most men don't say, "I gave this up for you," because to them, love is proven in action, not declared in speeches. Look closely and you'll notice it. He skips out on something he wanted to do because he knows you needed him more. He takes the longer route so you can be more comfortable. He chooses silence instead of starting an argument, even when he's frustrated, because your peace matters more to him than his ego. This isn't weakness, it's restraint, and it's the silent language of a man who loves. If you've ever wondered whether his quiet compromises mean something, the answer is yes. Love often hides in the things a man will never take credit for. Another undeniable sign is how his eyes soften when they land on you. He might mask it quickly, pull his face back into seriousness, but for that split second, his expression betrays him. When a man is truly in love, his eyes reveal what his mouth refuses to confess. It's not just lust, not just attraction. It's something deeper, a kind of reverence, like he's looking at someone who is both his peace and his undoing. And here's the thing, he may not even realize he's doing it. But if you catch him in those unguarded moments, you'll see his truth staring back at you. The next sign is subtle but powerful. He listens differently. Not the way men listen when they're waiting for their turn to speak. Not the way people half listen with their phones in their hands, but the kind of listening where he remembers, where he asks, where he cares about the meaning behind your words. When a man truly loves, your voice becomes music to him, not noise. He hears the changes in your tone, the stress in your pauses, the unspoken feelings you didn't even say. He doesn't need to announce it, because his attention is already the proof. And then there's time. Time is a man's most guarded possession, and when he gives it to you freely, without resentment, without needing something in return, that is love in its rawest form. He might not admit it, he might even downplay it, but a man who chooses you again and again over distraction, over convenience, over everything else, his heart has already decided, even if his lips remain sealed. One of the strongest signs that a man loves you, even when he tries to hide it, is how your pain affects him. A man can put on armor in front of the world. He can act unshaken in front of his friends. But when you're hurt, his mask cracks. He may not always know what to say, but you'll feel it in his silence, in the tension of his body, in the way he looks at you, like he wishes he could absorb your pain just to free you from it. Love in men often shows up as a deep sense of responsibility for your well-being. He might tease, he might act aloof, but when you're not okay, he feels it more deeply than he'll ever admit. That's not sympathy, it's emotional connection, and it's one of the clearest signs his heart is tied to yours. Another hidden sign is jealousy, though not the toxic kind people often talk about. This isn't about controlling you or keeping you from living your life. It's the quiet discomfort he feels when he sees another man getting too close, the slight shift in his energy when someone else makes you laugh, the way his mood changes when he senses someone might be trying to take his place. He may never admit to feeling jealous because men are taught it looks insecure, but in reality, it often signals attachment. He fears losing you because somewhere in his soul, he knows he's already given a piece of himself to you. Pay attention also to the way he plans. A man who doesn't love will talk about the future in terms of himself. A man who does love, but doesn't say it out loud, will unconsciously include you in his vision. Maybe he says things like, "One day, when we," or "next year, we should." It might not sound like much, but those little slips reveal that in his private thoughts, you're not temporary. You're woven into his future. That's not casual. That's love speaking through his imagination. And here's another hidden truth. A man who loves you but won't say it often struggles with vulnerability. He may act colder than he feels. He may hide behind sarcasm or jokes, but those defenses exist because his emotions are stronger than he's willing to reveal. The greater his love, the greater his fear of exposing it. And ironically, that very hesitation is proof of the depth of what he feels. One of the most overlooked signs that a man loves you, even when he won't put it into words, is how he invests in your growth. Men don't give their energy, attention, and encouragement to someone they don't truly value. When he loves you, you'll notice how he pushes you to believe in yourself, how he reminds you of your potential when you've forgotten it, how he gets excited about your wins as if they were his own. He might never say, "I love you, and that's why I want to see you shine," but his actions reveal it. Love makes a man want to see his woman elevate, not shrink. It's in the way he helps you fight your self-doubt, the way he reassures you without asking for credit, the way he becomes a quiet supporter of your dreams. Another powerful sign is patience. Men are not naturally patient creatures, especially in today's world of constant stimulation and distraction. But with the woman he truly loves, patience transforms him. He'll wait for you when you're late. He'll listen when you need time to process. He'll forgive mistakes more easily than he would with anyone else. He may never admit that his patience comes from love, but it does. Because when a man's heart is invested, he doesn't want to risk losing you over things that don't matter. Patience is love's disguise, one of the most telling yet silent confessions. Then there's the way he celebrates your uniqueness. Think about this. A man can be around many women, but when he truly loves one, he notices the things that make her different, and instead of criticizing, he admires them. Maybe it's your quirks, your habits, the way you see the world differently from him. Instead of trying to change you, he accepts and even treasures those differences. He may tease you, he may joke, but deep down, what he's showing is that your individuality is not just tolerated, it's loved. That's how you know you matter more than words can ever capture. And finally, look for how he makes sacrifices that inconvenience him but benefit you. Not just the small ones, but the bigger ones too. Changing his plans, adjusting his comfort, giving up something he wanted so you could feel secure or happy. He may brush it off like it's nothing, but it's not nothing. It's love in motion, the kind of love too deep to need applause, too humble to seek recognition, but undeniable in its presence. Another sign that a man loves you but doesn't speak it aloud is how he becomes protective of your reputation. He may never say, "I love you, and that's why I care what people say," but you'll notice it in subtle ways. He doesn't like when someone disrespects you, even in passing. He steps in when someone makes a joke at your expense. He defends you in rooms where you're not even present. A man in love guards not only your safety, but your name, because in his heart, who you are is tied to him. His silence in public might make you think he doesn't care, but watch carefully. He will not let people treat you lightly. That protective instinct is love in its most raw, unspoken form. Another clue lies in the way he adjusts himself around you. Men don't change for just anyone, but when a man is in love, he naturally softens the rough edges that might hurt you. Maybe he watches his tone when he knows you're sensitive about something. Maybe he tempers his words when he's angry, because deep down, he can't stand the idea of pushing you away. These aren't random behaviors. They are deliberate, even if he doesn't realize he's doing it. Love has a way of reshaping a man's nature, and you can see it in the way he adapts when you're around. One more hidden sign is in the way he misses you, even when he doesn't say it. A man who loves but won't admit it will still find excuses to check in. He might not send a long emotional text, but he'll ask how your day is going. He might not confess that he was thinking about you all day, but he'll send something small that lets you know you crossed his mind. Love doesn't always announce itself. It leaks through the cracks of ordinary conversation. The casual, "Did you get home safe?" or "How was work today?" is often a man's way of saying, "You matter more to me than I want to admit." And finally, notice the pride he feels in you. He may not gush with compliments, but his face lights up when he introduces you, or he slips your name into conversations with his friends or family. That pride is not just admiration, it's possession of the heart. A man who loves silently can't help but reveal it through the way he holds you as part of his world. Another sign a man loves you, even if he won't admit it, is how deeply your opinion matters to him. Men will act tough, independent, even detached, but if he's truly in love, you'll notice how your words carry weight. He'll ask what you think, not just about the little things like clothes or food, but about his choices, his plans, his direction. He may not admit that your approval means everything, but you'll see it in how he changes course after your feedback. To him, love is allowing you into the private space where he makes decisions, because your voice has become part of his internal compass. Another hidden truth is the way he struggles with vulnerability around you. Men are taught from a young age to lock their emotions away, to never show cracks in the armor. But when a man loves, he can't help but let pieces of his truth slip through. He may tell you things he's never told anyone else. He may open up about his fears, his regrets, his failures. Not because he enjoys it, but because he trusts you with the parts of himself he normally keeps hidden. That act of letting you see behind the curtain, even if only for a moment, is one of the purest signs of love he'll never verbalize. Watch also how he prioritizes your comfort, sometimes in ways so small you almost miss them. He'll give you the better seat, the last bite, the warmer blanket. He'll adjust the music, the room temperature, or even his schedule just to make sure you're okay. These are not random acts of politeness. They are quiet acts of devotion. Men rarely waste energy on details unless they matter, and you matter more than he will ever confess. And then there's the way he looks at you during your unguarded moments. Not when you're dressed up or trying to impress, but when you're just being yourself, laughing at something silly, focused on your work, or even half asleep. That gaze isn't lust. It's something softer, deeper. It's admiration, gratitude, longing all rolled into one. He may look away quickly if you catch him, but in those seconds, his love is written all over his face. That's the kind of sign that no words could ever replace, and it's often the truest one of all. Another powerful sign that a man loves you, though he may never admit it, is how your happiness directly affects his own. He could have had the worst day, but if you smile at him, his mood shifts. He might be exhausted, drained, or stressed, but if you laugh, it brings him back to life. This isn't coincidence, it's emotional investment. When your emotional state becomes tied to his, when your joy feeds him and your sadness weakens him, that's love. He might not confess it out loud because it feels too raw, too exposing, but his reactions betray him. When you mean that much to a man, his heart is no longer fully his own. Another sign is how he respects your boundaries, even when it frustrates him. A man who doesn't truly love won't care about your comfort zones. He'll push, pressure, or manipulate. But a man who loves, even if he wants something, will hold himself back when you say no. He may not tell you directly, "I love you enough to wait," but his restraint is proof. Love teaches men self-control, and it shows up most clearly when they honor your limits, not out of obligation, but out of care. Look also at the way he worries about you. He may not say the words, but he notices when you're tired, when you haven't eaten, when you're carrying too much on your shoulders. He'll remind you to take care of yourself, to slow down, to breathe. He may frame it as casual concern, but the truth is deeper. He feels responsible for your well-being. That concern is love disguised as everyday check-ins. And here's one more hidden truth. A man who loves you, even silently, often finds himself proud just to stand beside you. He doesn't need to own you or control you. He simply feels honored to be part of your life. You'll see it in the way he looks at you in a crowd, the way he stays close, the way he subtly reaches for your hand. That quiet pride is not something men display with just anyone. It's a rare kind of devotion, one that speaks louder than any declaration ever could. The final sign that a man loves you, even though he won't say it, is in how he shows up when it truly counts. It's easy to be there for someone in the good times, in the moments of laughter and pleasure, but love reveals itself in the storms. Watch closely when life gets heavy, when you're sick, when you're struggling, when everything feels like it's falling apart. Does he stay, even when it's inconvenient? Does he try, even when it costs him comfort? That's the truth of his heart. A man who doesn't love will step back when things get messy. A man who does love, but won't admit it, will stay rooted, quietly proving himself through presence, not promises. And here's the part most people miss. Silence doesn't mean absence of feeling. Many men never say, "I love you" easily. Some were never taught how. Some carry scars from the past. Some are terrified of being rejected or not measuring up. So instead, they love through action, through effort, through sacrifice, through loyalty. And that's why the smartest women, and the men who are honest with themselves, learn to read love in behavior, not just in words. Words can lie, but consistent action rarely does. So if you've been questioning whether that man in your life truly loves you, look again. Does he protect you without being asked? Does he remember the little things? Does he sacrifice without recognition? Does your pain reach him? Does your happiness heal him? Does he adjust himself to honor you, respect you, and hold space for your future? If so, then the truth is already there. He loves you. He just doesn't know how to say it. Or maybe he's too afraid that saying it will change everything. But his heart has already spoken, even if his lips remain silent. Now, I want to turn this back to you. Have you ever experienced this kind of silent love? The kind that shows up in actions but never in words? Maybe you've seen these signs and ignored them, or maybe you've felt them but didn't know what they meant. Share your story in the comments, because someone out there needs to hear they're not alone in feeling this. And if this video spoke to you, don't just keep it to yourself. Like it, subscribe for more insights, and share it with a friend who needs to understand the hidden language of love.